So I've used the 13-inch M3 MacBook Air for 2 weeks now, and it continues to surprise me in the best and worst ways. We'll get to the weird stuff later in the video, but something I really loved was the design. Apple did not change a thing about how this computer looks and feels from the previous generation, and that's a really good thing. They nailed the perfect combination, in my opinion, for weight, portability, and overall sleekness for a 13-inch computer. You're getting the same two Thunderbolt USB 4 ports, MagSafe charging, and an audio jack. It's been a lot of fun packing this laptop into my bag when I go to cafes and shops to work because it doesn't take up much space. Other additives worth mentioning for anyone who hasn't owned a new MacBook in a long time is that the speakers in this computer are incredible. You'll love these as they support Dolby Atmos and spatial audio, so you'll get some decent sound separation when you listen to content that supports these formats. And it does support Touch ID on the Magic Keyboard for an easy way to unlock your Mac and for Apple Pay purchases. As for the color, Apple sent over the midnight black color for me to test out, and after 2 weeks, this was where I discovered the first unfortunate thing. So Apple claims that they added a new anodization seal that is supposed to create less fingerprints than before. And to their credit, it does look a little bit better at handling fingerprints, but it's still going to take the oils off your hand and smudge it over your laptop. There's just no avoiding it with this color, so although I feel more confident in recommending midnight to people this time, be wary, you'll still have to clean it unfortunately. Something else I've noticed over the last few weeks is that I am still adjusting to the 13-inch display. I've personally found it a little bit crammed to transition to this when I'm used to working on larger monitors. This isn't me complaining or finding some fault with the 13-inch size. I think I need to preface that. I'm simply bringing it up for anyone who's used to working on a larger display. You may want to consider getting the 15-inch MacBook Air to make switching between monitors more seamless. Outside of that, the display nonetheless has been great. It looks stunning. It's a liquid retina display, so everything is sharp, crisp, detailed. I'd be shocked if anyone had an issue with something on this monitor. And for those of us unaware, you can hook up this MacBook to up to 2 external displays as long as the laptop is closed, which is really cool. But something even cooler than this is from today's video partner Anchorwork, who sent over their new S600 all-in-one speakerphone. And trust me, you haven't seen anything quite like this before, so I wouldn't skip. It's a Zoom certified speakerphone that has a host of unique features that make it stand out as the perfect solution for work from home and entertainment needs. With its sleek design, it seamlessly fits into any room, enhancing your space without any clutter. It has Qi 2 wireless charging that lets you easily charge your phone at 15 watts, with adjustable viewing angles that offer comfort and convenience during long video calls, or even when you are watching content. Background noise isn't a concern with this as well, as it features their Voice Radar 3.5 AI noise reduction technology, and it is the world's first product that uses voiceprint recognition tech that ensures your voice is clear, focused, and free from background noise, which helps with privacy and unwanted interruptions. But let's be clear, this isn't just great for work, it's fun to play with too. It has high quality 360-degree sound for music listening, watching a cooking tutorial as you cook, scrolling through TikTok, all kinds of content that makes using this for play a really fun and enjoyable experience. If you're interested in picking up the Anchorwork S600 all-in-one speakerphone, they are offering a limited time sale on Kickstarter with up to 45% off with their early bird discount. It is first come, first serve, so act quickly by clicking the exclusive link down below to make your purchase today. Thank you, Anchorwork, for partnering with me on today's video. Battery life on this computer has been great as well. I haven't scientifically tested this and measured the hours, but from my experience and eye test, this easily lasts me the whole day on light to moderate workloads. It can be a 2-day laptop for a lot of people watching this video, and for anyone lucky enough to have Wi-Fi 6E support in your home, you also get incredibly fast internet speeds on this computer. Okay, so the biggest surprises and disappointments for me with the MacBook Air have to do with performance. To catch you up, before we dive in, I'm currently using an M3 chip with an 8-core CPU and a 10-core GPU with an upgraded 16-core neural engine, 16 gigs of RAM, and 512 gigs of SSD. So in general, this has been great. I've been genuinely shocked with how fast and snappy this computer is. The hard drive speeds on this computer are top notch, and across benchmarks, we are seeing up to 20% increase in performance over the M2 chip, and even larger performance gains if you haven't upgraded to an M series computer yet from Apple. It can't be said enough, but it's just been really quick to open applications, multitask between programs. Anyone who's doing basic work on this computer will not really need anything more powerful than the M3 MacBook Air. It's an incredible computer in this regard with no no slowdowns at all. On the plus side, if you do have some creative aspirations, the improved GPU in the M3 chip has translated well to creative applications that I use on a daily basis, like Final Cut Pro. From my testing, this computer feels noticeably snappier in applications that leverage the new GPU more than in the M2 MacBook Air, which I tested a while back. The new GPU also does come with the hardware accelerated mesh shading and ray tracing, which in theory should translate really well to gaming on this computer, which is what Apple is sort of touting. Admittedly, I don't game at all on my Mac, and as cool as it is to see Apple make crazy advancements with their GPU and hardware, until the support of games on this platform can rival what you'd get on a PC, I have a hard time recommending this to anybody that wants to game on it. But what about all the creative people watching? I'll always recommend that if you have longer term creative aspirations or heavier workloads for your computer, you'll get more out of it if you upgrade to at least 16 gigs of RAM, in my opinion. Yes, you can get away with 8 gigs, and I'd recommend that model for anyone who deliberately just needs a computer for simple tasks. But for everybody else, I find the 16 gigs to be the real sweet spot from my experience of using MacBooks over the years to get more longevity from the M3 chip and its potential performance. Of course, the 24 gigs is an option as well for anyone who really wants to splurge on peak performance and potential with their MacBook Air. An example of peak performance actually is how great this computer handles AI-related tasks thanks to the enhanced neural engine. So things like dictation, speech to text, it does an incredible job taking what I'm saying and using native language processing to accurately transcribe it. It's been amazing at using AI video editing features like auto cutting out backgrounds or even denoising an image really fast in Topaz Photo AI. It's a beast, and I think we'll get a lot more value from the M3 chip later this year at WWDC, as it's been rumored heavily that Apple is coming out with their own AI software that would in theory take advantage of all the stuff Apple has been building into their M series chips and even their iPhones over the last few years. It's wild to say all of this, but we may be in for more potential with this laptop and Apple's M series laptops in the next 6 months. There's a reason why Apple is already claiming the MacBook Air to be the best consumer laptop for AI. And I think a part of that has to do with their bet on whatever they are bringing forward later this year that will take advantage of these chips more. But wait a minute, I did mention something earlier. What was the thing that disappointed me about performance? Well, it's the fact that the laptop actually gets quite hot sometimes on the bottom. Let me preface with the fact that there are no fans on this computer, so duh, it's going to get hot the longer you do things on it that require a lot of energy from the M3 chip. But with all of that heat, it does mean you will see some drop in performance when doing heavy workloads over extended periods of time, which was exactly my experience. It's important to bring this up because everyone loves the idea of MacBook Air, but it may not be for you. If you really are going to be using heavy programs for long periods of time and you specifically don't want things to slow down, I'd probably look at the M3 MacBook Pro or the M3 Pro MacBook Pro because those have legit cooling systems that will allow you to get more performance out of these chips and experience way less slowdowns. Of course, it won't be as fun and light as a MacBook Air, so if you can tolerate some heat and drop in performance, more power to you, because you're in for a treat to use a really fun laptop that is the M3 MacBook Air. But it's also important to remember that this isn't the only MacBook Air that you can buy. Apple is still selling the M2 MacBook Air at 13 inches for $100 cheaper. Honestly speaking, if you are on an extremely tight budget, I give you my blessing if you need that confidence to go and get the M2 MacBook Air instead. It's still a great computer, and I don't want to encourage you to get something that you can't afford. But for everybody else who has the option and the ability to spend an extra $100, it's well worth the money to get the M3 version, as I find my experience is noticeably faster over M2. Something quicker and even more incredible though than these MacBook Airs are Apple's new M3 Max MacBook Pros. I've been using them for the last few months, and it's been a shocking experience in ways I explained in my latest review that you can click right here to watch now.